Good morning to all. Today I'm going to deal with gene regulation, which is a key concept in molecular biology. When we come to the concept of gene regulation, we can see that the genes encode proteins and the proteins dictate cell function. Therefore, the thousands of genes expressed in a particular cell determine what the cell can do. Moreover, each step in the flow of information from DNA to RNA to proteins, there's a central dogma part, provides the cell with a potential control point for self-regulating its functions by adjusting the amount or type of the proteins produced or it manufactures. That means there is a mechanism of gene expression from the information source, that is DNA, to the RNA and to protein, and throughout this process of the central dogma process, we have various control points through which various control mechanisms or self-regulating mechanisms which regulate the expression of the genes or the production of the proteins that it manufactures. The term gene expression can be defined as it is a process by which the instruction in our DNA are converted into a functional product such as protein. So it may involve various stages and various control elements or control points which checks or regulates the expression of the concerned gene. Gene expression it is altered in response to environmental changes, both internal and external environmental changes. And also it is influenced by the structure of the chromatin. Structure of the chromatin means you may have, you are familiar with the concept of heterochromatin and euchromatin. Heterochromatin is a highly compacted structure and it is not transcribed as such because it is tightly bound over the histone proteins and it is in a condensed structure which is unavailable for the transcription machinery for ready transcription and translation, which means heterochromatin is not available for transcription and translation, that is gene expression. Whereas euchromatin is a less compacted structure which is a loose network of the chromatin fibers which is free from the histone proteins and readily available in the cytoplasm or in the nucleoplasm for a transcription process in eukaryotic systems. So euchromatin is a less compacted structure which is available for gene expression, and that means gene expression is especially occurring in case of euchromatin, not in the case of heterochromatin. Then gene expression is most often regulated by the transcription stage, and there are other stages also. There's a gene expression is occurring at various stages, but mostly it is regulated at the transcription stage. Then the differential gene expression, that is also termed as a cell differentiation, is the result of the genes being turned on or off in different cells having the same genome. So we have various cases of the different cell types in higher order animals. Differentiated cells are there which may have specialized in some particular functions, for example neuronal cells or some other types of specific cell types will be there, and that type of cells will be specialized in performing a particular task by producing particular or a set of different proteins which is expressed only in that type of a cell. So which means in differential gene expression, in the case of cell differentiation, many of the genes were on or off in that particular cell type or specific cell type, which enables the cell to perform in a different manner compared to the other ones. and only 1.5% of the human DNA codes for proteins. That's also another fact. Then in the case of chromatin structure, eukaryotic DNA associates with many histone proteins that forms a complex structure, or a mass of histones is equal to a mass of a DNA. So the histones are highly conserved small basic proteins that shape the first level of chromatin structure. So when the chromosome condenses, the histones is actually the histone proteins will provide the first level of condensation of the chromatins, and the DNA will bound over the histone proteins, and the initial compaction or condensation of the chromatin is done by binding over the histone proteins. The high concentration of the arginine, nearly 24%, and lysine, about 20%, make them positively charged. So we know that histone proteins were positively charged because of the high composition of the arginine and lysine, which is positively charged, which enables the negatively charged DNA to bound with specific affinity on the surface of the histone proteins. Of the 5 types of histone proteins, H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4, all but H1 are found in the nucleosome, and the basic unit of the DNA packing is the nucleosome. And these histones are evolutionarily conserved, so there is not much sequence difference throughout the evolutionary history of the histone proteins. Only it leaves the DNA briefly during replication, and maybe at the time of transcription also, or it leaves the DNA, and all other times it is bound intact with the DNA, and it contributes to the condensation of the or the compaction of the chromosome. Now, interphase chromatin is attached to the nuclear lamina to keep the chromosomes from tangling and shearing off. So this interphase chromatin is actually it is bound to the nuclear lamina or the membrane parts, so that it is the structure or the integrity of the chromatin is kept intact. So this is the level of organization of the chromosome of a eukaryotic chromosome, in which the double helical DNA of 2 nm nanometers are present at first. Then by binding over the histone proteins, it forms about 11 nm thickness structure, or the beads on a string chromatin structure. That is the first level of compaction or the condensation of the chromosomes. Now there is a 30 nm fiber, then 300 nm fiber, then 700 nm condensed structure of the chromosome is finally formed, and both the homologues of the chromosome, it contributes to about 1400 nm structure. So this is about the compaction or the condensation or the organization of the eukaryotic chromosome. Here you can see that there are various control points in eukaryotic gene expression. The control points in eukaryotic gene expression may be at various levels. They may be regulated at chromosome structure, at the level of chromosome structure formation. Maybe histone acylation and DNA methylation, which may change the chromatin structure, may contribute to the regulation of gene expression. Then transcription of the gene, that is another point of a gene expression control, gene expression control. So that is at the initiation itself, stage itself, the gene may be regulated, or expression of the gene may be regulated. Then there is a RNA processing stage, and we already discussed the alternative splicing and splicing mechanism, and which is also considered as a stage of gene expression regulation. mRNA export, then mRNA degradation, which may involve poly A tail and miRNA or RNA interference or RNAi. All these will come under the title of the mRNA degradation part. Then translation of the mRNA may be regulated by different regulatory proteins which blocks the translation. Polypeptide processing by cleavage and modification and transport, at that stage there may be various regulatory elements. Then protein degradation, like ubiquitin or proteasome activity based degradation of the protein, which will also contribute to the regulation of a gene expression. So we can see that at various levels in the gene expression, we have control elements or control points which enables us to or the eukaryotic system to regulate gene expression, and we will see it one by one. So here you can see that in the nucleus part, and the initial part is the nucleus, that is shown. The signal is received. Signal means any hormonal growth factor or whatever stimulus that external signal that cell receives. In response to that signal, the condensed chromatin in the nucleus, that condensed chromatin in the nucleus will unwound, and the DNA or chromatin will be made available for transcription. So in the nucleus we have the condensed chromatin and chromatin modification, DNA unpacking involving histone acylation and DNA methylation. So DNA acetylation and demethylation process will help in the unpacking of the tightly wound chromatin structure into the DNA or the loose chromatin network, which will be available for the transcription machinery to start the translation. Transcription machinery to start the transcription process. So in response to the signal, such chemical changes in the histone proteins will unwound the DNA strands in the tightly packed the chromatin structure or chromosome structure, and that chromatins will be made available for the transcription process. So that is the first stage. And there are regulatory elements or regulation possibilities in the process of DNA acetylation or the demethylation process, which enables these unpacking. Then in the second stage we have the transcription process in which the DNA is transcribed into the concerned RNA. And not all RNAs are mRNAs or the RNAs that is coding for protein synthesis. There may be other RNAs like rRNA, tRNA transcripts which will be contributing to the structural components of the cell, like ribosome assembly, and tRNA products are also gene products. So all the RNAs which is produced by gene expression were not producing proteins. In some cases like rRNAs and tRNAs, the product is RNA itself, not the proteins. So that's it, transcription. So RNA is produced, and the primary transcript, as you know, it is a eukaryotic primary transcript is a long transcript with the introns and exons, which is the introns is actually removed by the RNA processing, which we already discussed, and that RNA finally processed RNA with the poly A cap and joint exons, then poly A tail. All these things were produced by the RNA processing process. So there are possibilities on gene regulation at the transcription level and RNA processing level. Then they are transported across the nuclear membrane to the cytoplasm. So in the cytoplasm, the mRNA is available in the cytoplasm, which will be translated, and this mRNA may be even susceptible for degradation in the cytoplasm. So that degradation or mRNA degradation before translation will be a main part which regulates the translation process or the subsequent production of the polypeptide chain. Now, in the translation part, we have the polypeptide that is synthesized. This polypeptide may be susceptible for cleavage or further modification and final active structure formation, etc. All these things were available. So even the newly or nascent polypeptide may be properly modified and made a functional protein, or it may be susceptible for degradation. So we have control elements or possibilities of the regulation after the production of the peptide, even by degradation of the peptide, so that it will be removed from the system. Then the next stage is the active protein. which will again will be susceptible for degradation even before using it. So degradation of the protein is possible, and subsequent removal from the system will remove the protein. So at various stages in the gene expression, we have gene regulation control points or control points in the gene regulation. And various mechanisms will be discussed in detail in the forthcoming slides. Okay.